everyone, my name is Kelsey Valentine and I'm a pelvic floor physiotherapist at Stave Off Physiotherapy. I'm going to be talking to you today about having pain anywhere between here and here, so any pain in your pelvic region. So many people will experience pain in the pelvic region. It could be growing up, it could be during pregnancy, it could be postpartum, and it could be in many different locations. So some people might experience pain in their pubic bone at the front. You might experience pain in your hips, your low back, or even kind of deeper into the vaginal area. So your pelvic floor muscles can often be the culprit of some of these painful areas without us even realizing it. Our pelvic floor muscles are quite complex and there's a lot going on here. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a demonstration of what your pelvic floor is so that you can understand what I'll be talking about. So your pelvic floor is a set of muscles that sits inside of your pelvis. And so if we look at them here, they attach all inside. All of these red parts are your pelvic floor muscles. They have a lot of different important roles. One of those being that they will support your pelvis. So they will provide support there, they'll give it some stability, but if there's too much tension in those muscles, it can cause problems as well. So just like you can have tension in a muscle in your shoulder or your neck or your jaw that causes pain, the same thing goes for your pelvic floor muscles. And like I said, sometimes it can be hard to understand where that pain is coming from because it's so deep and we can't access it by touching it. So the way that we get pain can be complex, and there's a number of factors that can contribute to pain that can go from anywhere between a trauma that you've experienced in that area or a negative experience that can make your nervous system a bit more primed to experience pain in this area. Another thing that can be common that can cause pain in this area is if you had a vaginal delivery and experienced some tearing. So a lot of my clients that I see will have a tear in one of these muscles that heals okay, but they continue to experience pain in that area. And when you have pain in that area, you often will tense your muscles. So if we go back to kind of the shoulder example, if your shoulder is sore, we probably will tense it to try and guard and protect that area. Once we try and guard and protect, we create more tension in our muscles, and we know that tension can create pain. So this cycle can go around and around, and it can become this vicious cycle of pain where something hurts, and then you create tension, and then that tension can create more pain, and so on and so forth. So a big role that we have as a pelvic floor physiotherapist is helping you to break this cycle. So if we can help reduce some of the tension that you're experiencing, then that can break that chain of the cycle of pain, and you might be more likely to not have pain afterwards. So one thing that we can do for that is bringing blood flow to the area. So by bringing blood flow to the area of our pelvic floor muscles, this blood flow, when we bring blood to the area, it will bring oxygen to the area. And when we bring oxygen to the area, it will help to flush out some of those things like lactic acid that can build up and cause burning and stinging pain. And we can also get aching and that sort of sensation. So by bringing blood flow, we're helping to reduce some of that pain as well. On top of that, we can physically kind of stretch these muscles, which will help to lengthen them, reduce some of the tension that you're experiencing, and hopefully reduce your pain as well. Then one thing is to come in to see us, but the other thing is that we want to give you some maintenance so that you don't have to come see me every single day, and that you can continue to lengthen the muscles to prevent that tension from coming back. So we will give some stretching type exercises and some things that way to help you with that, and also just some education around your condition, why you experience pain in the first place, why your nervous system might be responding so much to this area. So in the case of going back to the vaginal birth, that tear was a trauma to the area. So your nervous system, our brain, responds a bit more hyper-reactively to anything that comes into that area. So for my ladies who experience pain with intercourse after having a baby, our nervous system is just trying to protect us, and it's worried about the risk of re-tearing and that sort of thing. But once we know that the tissue has healed, we know that we can can actually start to release some of that tension and break that pain tension cycle once again. The other thing is that with these muscles, because they interact so closely with our pelvis, they attach onto our pubic bone at the front, our tailbone, and our sacrum at the back, and then the inside of our hips. If there's a lot of tension in those muscles, then it can cause some pulling, some muscle imbalances, and so working on relaxing those muscles can have a big role in reducing the pain, both in the short term and the long term. So that's kind of a brief intro into how pain can be caused from your pelvic floor muscles. Of course, if you guys have any other questions at all, feel free to reach out. And know that there's a lot of help for these things and that you don't just have to accept pain in this area. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions at all, reach out.